What would you do if your kindness almost got you fired, and the next day, a private jet showed up because of it? This isn't a fairy tale. It happened, and it changed everything. Before we dive in, tell us in the comments, where are you watching this from? Let's see how far this story reaches. Luis Ramirez had worked at the same gas station on the edge of town for almost 5 years. The place wasn't much. 2 pumps, a dusty little convenience store, and an old coffee machine that barely worked. But it was honest work. Luis showed up every morning before sunrise, always in the same gray uniform, stained from years of oil and sweat, and always with the same quiet expression. He wasn't the kind of guy people noticed, but everyone who lived nearby knew they could count on him. Whether they needed air in their tires or someone to give their kid a bottle of water on a hot day, Luis wasn't rich. Far from it. Most of his paycheck went straight to his mom in Mexico. He lived in a 1-bedroom apartment and walked to work because his old truck hadn't started in months. But none of that ever made him bitter. He'd say, "As long as I'm useful, I'm all right." That morning started like any other. It was hot, and Luis was restocking windshield washer fluid when a minivan pulled in. The woman who got out looked exhausted. Messy hair, eyes red from crying. Her 2 kids were in the back seat, clearly hungry and restless. She walked up to Luis, barely able to hold herself together. She told him she'd lost her wallet, had no one to call, and just needed $20 worth of gas to make it to the hospital 2 towns over. Her mother had just been taken into emergency care. Luis didn't even blink. He knew what it meant to be desperate. But he also knew there were cameras watching his every move. The owner of the station was strict. Any money missing from the register would come out of Luis's pay, and too many mistakes meant you were gone. Still, he reached into his own wallet and pulled out a crumpled 20. She cried when he handed it to her. Just said, "God bless you," and drove off. The next day, Luis showed up like always, but his boss was already waiting, said the drawer was short, asked if Luis had taken money. Luis didn't argue. He just apologized and took the warning. 1 more screw-up, the boss said, and he'd be out. Then, something none of them had ever seen happened. A sleek black jet landed at the tiny airstrip behind the gas station. It was surreal. No one used that strip anymore. It hadn't seen a landing in years. Moments later, a black SUV pulled up. 3 people got out, 2 assistants and a man in a tailored suit. He walked straight into the station and asked, "Is Luis working today?" Everyone froze. Luis stepped forward, confused. The man smiled. "You helped my sister yesterday," he said. "That $20 meant she made it in time to say goodbye to our mom." Luis was speechless. The man owned a major tech company. He offered Luis a job right there. Full-time, good salary, benefits. But Luis asked something else instead. "Can you help fix the community clinic? They turned away my neighbor last week because they couldn't pay." The man agreed. That same month, the clinic got new funding. They hired 2 doctors. A scholarship was created in Luis's name for local kids to study nursing or tech. Luis didn't take the fancy job. He stayed at the station, just like before. But from that day on, everyone looked at him differently, including his boss. A week later, he got a letter. It was from the woman. Her mom hadn't survived, but she wrote, "Because of you, I got to say goodbye. That moment is something I'll carry for the rest of my life." And Luis never told anyone he gave her the $20. He didn't need to. If this story moved you, drop the word compassion in the comments, because sometimes the smallest act of compassion can echo farther than we ever imagine. There's a story here on the screen that will also move you. Press play, you won't regret it.